everyone, my name is Apollo Elysium, greatest god and musician in Olympus. This is going to be a long video, so no time to waste on a long introduction, because I'm about to talk passionately for a while. Anyway, without any further ado, these are my top 20 video games. It's a good place to start to introduce myself to everyone, and stay tuned afterwards for an important announcement for my next streams and videos. Anyway, let's get started with honorable mentions. Before we get into the list proper, I do want to say there are some honorable mentions, and I want to explain why they didn't make the list proper. There are about 10 of these, but I'm going to go through them quickly so as not to take up too much. So, in no particular order, we're going to start with Destiny 2. Destiny 2 is probably one of the most complicated games for me to explain why it's not on the list proper. I have quite a bit of time in it. I played it since the beta of D1. I enjoy the gameplay and the look of the game, and I have amazing memories in it. And one of my mods and best friends plays it like it's his job. However, the thing that drags it down for me is the gameplay loop. I feel like there's far too much grind for not enough payoff, and it burns me out every time I try to play it. Once I make in-game and can raid, I have so much fun, but the grind to get there every time just kills my of it. Number 2, MapleStory. And MapleStory and Final Fantasy XIV are the only MMOs that I've really ever been able to get into. I've played a bit of like World of Warcraft, RuneScape, all these different MMOs, but the only ones that have really caught my interest are Final Fantasy XIV, which is a very, very different game because it feels like a Final Fantasy game, and MapleStory. MapleStory is a game that I've played on and off for 20 years at this point, since I was in high school. My main problem is that I can never get anyone. I don't have any friends that play MapleStory. So I play and then don't have anybody to play with, and so I just kind of fall out of the game because I get to a point where I just can't do anything. But you know, it's definitely probably my favorite MMO, even though I can't say that I'm a true MapleStory like player. But I definitely really, really enjoy the game, and I get back into it once every like 2 to 3 years, and I'll play through and do like a ton of stuff. Number 3, this one honestly probably number 21 if I did them in a list, is Halo Reach. Halo Reach like is probably the most important game to my friend, and that's not exaggerating. Most of my mods I met through Halo Reach or met through someone I met through Halo Reach. If you ever come into my stream and see their Fugis, 2 of them are Halo helmets. The only reason it's not on the list proper is because I like a few games more, and I'm okay, but I'm not cracked at it like some of the other people in my friend group. So when I play with them, I get a bit discouraged. Also, I've gotten to the point where I play more solo player, and while the Reach campaign is super good, my memories are far more linked to multiplayer, and even the campaign is far more linked to co-op. I've played through that campaign like a dozen times, and 4 or 5 of them have been in co-op. It's definitely like my number 21 if I were to do a main list. Number 4, Tony Hawk's Underground 1. The original Tony Hawk's Underground. Honestly, I love this game. It's just there are 2 other Tony Hawk's games I like better, and there's a section or 2 that I don't like, and mechanically I love some other games. But I've played this game like 20 times, and it's a blast every single time, and I genuinely just really, really enjoy it. Number 5, Rock Band 3. Just to get this out of the way, because I am the god of music, I love rhythm games. It's just like, it's something that I've always been super, super excited about. Rock Band 3 is definitely my favorite. I spent way too much money just buying songs. I had probably across all of Rock Band 3, I think I ended up with like 3,000 songs. Um I and also they introduced pro drums in this. It's my favorite way to play Rock Band because I'm a drummer in real life. The reason it's not on the main list is because now it's very easy to play things like Clone Hero, uh, and stuff like that, and just stuff. But also, Clone Hero is not going to be on the list because technically it's not a game. It's just a collection of. It's a fan project that's a collection of songs that you can just kind of go in and play. And while that's really fun, there's no campaign, there's nothing like that. Like, anyway, spoiler alert for the main list. MX Unleashed, number 6. This is an odd pick, but MX Unleashed and Tony Hawk's Underground were the first 2 games I ever got for PlayStation 2, and I played so much of this game. And the main reason I even wanted this game was because there was a trailer where you got to jump like a helicopter or something like that on a motorcycle. It was so fucking cool. And the only reason it's not on the main list is because as fun as it is, and like how much I love like the soundtrack has some bangers, as the kids say. It's pretty bare bones looking back on it now. Like, it's a very easy, very simple game comparatively with like a lot of the stuff that I like to play now. And it's a relaxing game if I ever go back and play it, because it is on like Xbox backwards compatibility. But yeah, so just, that's the entire reason. Number 7, Borderlands, the original Borderlands 1. The original Borderlands has a near and dear place in my heart. I've played through it multiple times. It's a fantastic start to the series. I love a lot of the characters that are introduced in it. The only reason it's not on the main list is because there is a game in the series, spoiler alert, that is on the main list, and it's very high on the main list. And as much as it's a great start to one of my favorite series, it's also like I can't put it higher. I can't put it on the main list, and I only want to put. Well, you'll see. But yeah. I fucking love the original Borderlands. I've played through it like 5 or 6 times. Every once in a while I get a hankering to start a new character on it, and then I have to pinch myself and be like, oh wait, no, maybe I can play something else. Number 8, Dead by Daylight. Okay, so Dead by Daylight is one of the more interesting games that's kind of on this list. And the thing, because I love the game and the properties that they've added to it. I'm a humongous horror fan. It has a really satisfying gameplay loop, both on the killer side and like on the whatever the fuck it's called, survivor side. There's 2 main things that kind of ruin the experience for me, and it's weird because some people would probably say not to let these affect it. Well, one of them to affect it, but I can't help it. One is the community. The community for Dead by Daylight, especially recently, is incredibly toxic. It's so difficult to engage with the community and to say that I'm going to engage with the community and have this and not let that get to me, especially when I'm going to be playing it mostly as a content creator. It's very difficult. I mean, people were getting doxxed. People were getting like, you know, all kinds of shit. It's crazy. There's a few creators that I actually really, really like, and I love going in and watching videos from certain people in the community, but for the most part, there's a lot of toxicity in the community, and it's very, very difficult to engage with. The other problem is that I don't like the way the progression is implemented. It's very, very counterintuitive. You you play a character, but you level other characters to get perks to put on that character so that character can be better, and you like it's very much not how interesting, like it's not a very interesting way to play that game. I don't know. Dead by Daylight's a weird one. I really, really enjoy it, but like there are some issues with it for sure that just keep it from being like up way up there in my top. Number 9, because I spent a while on Dead by Daylight, but number 9 is Hades. Hades is fun. It's engaging, and it's right up my alley. It's a roguelike. It has a great story. It's about Greek mythology, something I'm incredibly knowledgeable about. I just call it family history. And the art style is incredible. So cool. I love the dialogue. All of this stuff is so much fun, but the only reason it's not on the list is honestly more of a problem that I have with most roguelikes in general. I get stuck on a build I use for a good run and try hard to replicate it, and whenever that happens, it causes me to like die, and also I haven't fully finished it yet. And I know Hades 2 is out, and I need to play through it for sure. But like, and comment if you'd like to see me finally finish it. It's such a fun game, and I genuinely love everything about it. It's just I haven't finished it, and so I can't say for certain that I'm incredible, like that it's life-changing experience for me. Because if it had been, I probably would have finished it by now, you know. Anyway, but moving on from that, Final Fantasy 16. To be honest with you, this is probably my number 22. The only reason it's not on the main list is because there is a Final Fantasy game on the list and a DMC game on the list, and if you know, and this is a combination of both, if you know anything about it, but to be honest with you, I love the story for this. It has one of my favorite Final Fantasy stories of all time. It probably has one of my favorite couples in gaming, and the best companion you could ever possibly fucking have in the form of Torgal. The other reason is much like Hades, I'm not finished with it yet. I'm more than halfway through, but it has like some perfect boss fights. Like the Titan boss fight is amazing. The Garuda boss fight is so fucking cool. I genuinely love this game, but I can't in good conscience put it on the list without having finished it. But that's the 10 honorable mentions that I have. They're, you know, like you'll understand also why, like, as little as I said about them, why everything that's about to happen, why I figured this is going to be a long video. Anyways, on to the main list. So, on to the main list. As is probably, I'm going to be spoiling the games that are coming forward. I will put indentations in to like chapters in to skip to games, probably just numbered, to skip to games if you do not if you do not want spoilers on some of these games. A lot of them are kind of older games, so like it probably won't, like you probably won't have to worry about that, but still, you've been warned. Like I said, I will include chapters if you do not want to be spoiled on anything. All right, number 20. Mortal Kombat X. So, I am a gigantic fighting game fan. I've played so many fighting games. Mortal Kombat is one of my favorite series. I've played and beaten every Mortal Kombat. I'm not even sure entirely why, but Mortal Kombat X is my favorite. I like the way, it's really hard to explain it, but I like the story. I like the combat kids. The combat kids were actually really fun. I know that's probably a opinion. I like the special move variation, how much you can make your own. It introduced my main for Mortal Kombat, which is Aaron Black. Yes, I know. I don't care. You probably hate me. I don't care. I enjoy the story, and the guest characters were really, really fun and interesting. It was just a really solid Mortal Kombat, and it's my favorite Mortal Kombat, and I really don't care if that's controversial, but like it is such a like I don't know, something. I think it was like Mortal Kombat 9 reinvigorated the series. Mortal Kombat X reinvigorated my love for the Mortal Kombat series. That's saying something. Like, I enjoyed 9, but like 10, like X, just made it where I was like, I'm playing the rest of these when they come out, and I have. But we won't talk about those. That's a list. That's a different topic. All right. Now, 19. I'm kind of cheating on this one, and I'm going to do this with a couple of these. For the most part, when it comes to series, I try to put one, but there are several that I just can't make a decision on, and this is one of them. Trials Evolution and Trials Fusion. It's so difficult for me to pick between these two games. It's weird because they function very, very similarly, but they play very similar, but they also don't, like, they're different games. And I love both of them for very, very different games. I'll start with Trials Evolution. This game has the best pure Trials gameplay, in my opinion. It's really fun. It's so much, like, there's some really, really just absolutely challenging maps. There's crazy custom maps. The game editor, like the map editor in this game, was so cool. Somebody made zombies, like COD zombies. It was crazy. Like, there was so much cool stuff. Sadly, all of that is dead on console now. But there was so much cool stuff that people were doing and stuff like that. It was so awesome. Trials Fusion, I really like the actual game itself was so much fun. It was super fun. It was challenging. I love that I say challenging, but like the challenges in the game were actually really, really cool. Like there was this whole list. Every map had like 3 challenges that you could complete, and each one of them was actually like really, really fun and interesting. Some of them were like really from this point to this point, and then some of them were like, don't let your front tire touch the ground at all from this point to here, and it'd be like half the fucking map. It's crazy. It had really, really cool DLC. Like there was a DLC where you rode a fucking unicorn. The only reason, like for the main game, it's incredible, and the aesthetic was really, really cool, and it still looks insane to this day. But the thing that holds it back, and the main reason why it's not like the main reason why I can't choose between them is they decreased the map editor, and there were some really weird transactions for like cosmetics that just didn't work. But it was such a fun game, and 2 of my favorite experiences. Because I used to play like like I love Trial. I love the Trials formula because I used to play games like this back on like Newgrounds back in the day. So, number 18, Minecraft. I mean, what can I say about Minecraft that hasn't been said? Minecraft is genuinely it's a force onto itself. Like, it's such a once in a lifetime game, and genuinely, I don't know how you could I don't know how you could argue that Minecraft isn't a once in a lifetime game. It completely created a whole ecosystem of games that still to this day people are trying to replicate. I probably have more time in Minecraft than I do in any other game. I've played it for thousands upon thousands of hours. I've consistently played for about 10 years at this point, and I watch, much to my wife's but like much to my wife's chagrin, I genuinely watch Minecraft content like every single day because I watch people that have been on a server together for 10 plus years at this point. Like, I have, I have these huge plans for it. If you've seen me stream, you've probably seen me stream Minecraft at some point, because I have a forever world that I'm planning on just keeping around and playing on for as long as I'm around. Like, I have a base that I want to build there, and I also have like some other stuff, and if I ever get bored about what I'm doing in one part, I'm going to go to a different place and start another base, because that's my plan. I love Minecraft. It's probably not surprising given the way that, some like the impact that it's had on culture. I'm so happy it exists. It's fantastic. Number 17, Monster Hunter Rise. So I'm relatively new to Monster Hunter. I started playing in World, and I tried playing through World multiple times. I had the game for 4 years and legitimately went through and played it. Went through and tried to play it, and then I would be like, oh, I need space on my hard drive, and I would delete it and then re-download it for like 4 years. And then one day I was like, all right, I'm just going to play it. And it hit me how the game worked and how the systems work and stuff like that. And it hit me so fucking hard. I put hundreds of hours into it, and then Monster Hunter Rise came out, and I legitimately played Rise and did thousands of hunts and hundreds of hours into it. And this was all before Sunbreak came out. And then after that, I went and played Sunbreak when it came out. Now, you might be wondering, why did I choose Rise instead of World or Wilds? I mean, I played Wilds when it came out too, and I loved it. To be honest with you, the reason I like Rise is something that I know a lot of people probably won't agree with, but I like the arcadey feel. I like the Japanese aesthetic. I like the wire bug attacks. It feels fast, it's fluid, fun. It's so easy to move around. Um, like I can, now that I have, whatever, I can just jump in and like hop on a fight and play, and like I'll pick it up occasionally and just go in and fight and stuff like that. Like I like Wilds. I have 100 hours into it, and I pop in for updates. But like, if when I go back and play Rise, it hits in a different way. I love the series. I'm fully invested. I can't wait for what's gonna happen next. I've been paying attention to updates and stuff like that. But man, Monster Hunter Rise is so much fun, and it really, really just hits me in a certain way. Anyway, at number 16, Terraria. Now, given everything that I said about the impact of Minecraft on my life, and the impact of the the fact that Terraria is side-scrolling Minecraft to some people. You might expect this to be a weird place for it, but God, I love Terraria so much. Take like Minecraft is what I like to play when I want to get my creativity out. Terraria is what I want to play when I want to mine and craft, but also fight really cool bosses and have like all of this stuff and just have like this really, really fun adventure. It feels like an adventure every time you play it, and I love the music in it. God, the music in it is so much fun. It's so cool. I've heard really good things about the Calamity mod. I kind of want to play that on a stream at some point. Let me know if you'd like to see that in the comments. I would love to dive into it. Yeah. But yeah, love Terraria. So much fun. Number 15, Devil May Cry 3. I alluded to this in the honorable mentions. I love this series. I played all the games, even the reboot, which, while I did like the story and Dante was an ass, I love the gameplay of DMC, Devil May Cry. Really dumb name. Anyway, Devil May Cry 3, it's such a fun game. It takes everything that I liked about the original game and just makes it so much better. It's the perfect evolution of the series. Like the opening scene is like the most hype opening scene in the entire series. The stance switching styles, like I love how much variety it gives you in gameplay. The bosses are so much fun, but it's also not an easy game. If you play the original release instead of the special edition, if you know, you know. I also just really like hack and slash games anyways. Like I like the original God of War. I like, and like Dante's Inferno, but I think the best version of a hack and slash game is Devil May Cry 3. It's every single thing that I want from a hack and slash game, and I still to this day there are parts of it that I just remember in my sleep sometimes. It's so much fun. Okay. Number 14. Donkey Kong Country on the original the Super Nintendo. To be honest with you, this is a game that I played so much in my childhood. I don't even know how to explain how much it means to me. Like, it has some of the best music in any video game I've ever played. I fucking love the Donkey Kong Country soundtrack. Um, it's my favorite old school platformer, like 2D platformer. Um, I have this game on an emulator on my phone so I can just play it when I want to. I played it so much at one point when I was a kid that I had my legs turned to jelly and I couldn't walk for like 3 hours. It's a classic. It's amazing. I don't think anybody will blame me for putting this on the list. Number 13. This one might be controversial. COD Zombies. Now, I know what a lot of people are going to say here. COD Zombies is a game by itself, and you're right. But you forgot. But you forget two very, very important things. One, it's my list. I can do what I want. And two, I had to include it because it's one of my favorite things. For everyone who knows me and knows anything about me, COD Zombies is not just a part of my it's not just something that I do, something that I play occasionally. It's an incredibly huge part of my life. And it's crazy to me that it's a mode that wasn't even supposed to exist. And it became a community and a feature, and it's so much more important to me than anything else. There are some of these games that I have hundreds upon hundreds of hours in, and I've barely touched any of the other modes. I'm pretty sure I am Prestige Master on Black Ops 3. And I'm pretty sure I'm level 12 in multiplayer, and I haven't finished the campaign. Because the campaign was boring. And I don't like the jetpacks. That's a different issue. That's a different thing. But Zombies is something that I can go back to. Every once in a while, I will legitimately just go in and play a match of Zombies because it's something I want to do. But that's not even that's not even including the Easter eggs, the wonder weapons, the camo grind in the newer games that I have fucking finished on Cold War and fucking Black Ops 6, and I've started on Black Ops 7. It's this it has this weird, confusing ass story. I love the music in it. Most importantly, I love some of these maps. They feel like home to me. And I'll have a video on the maps later. I'm going to do I'm going to do a full ranking of all of the Treyarch COD Zombie maps. I'll explain it when I do that video. But I have thousands upon thousands of hours and hundreds of thousands of rounds at this point, and I never stop enjoying this series. Even though bad maps, I can still go in and have a fun time on. So it's easily here, and I will see absolutely zero argument on me putting just COD Zombies, because I can't choose a single game because they don't all have the maps that I want to play. Anyways. Oh, and I didn't even mention the fucking modding community. Jesus Christ. Oh my god. The custom maps are crazy. Anyways, moving on to number 12. Final Fantasy X. I alluded to this also in the honorable mentions. This is my favorite Final Fantasy title. I understand that, some people like 7, some people like 8, some people like 9, some people like 6. There are people that like 16. I enjoy 16 a lot. But for me, I genuinely think, and I've been through this game multiple times. Every couple of years, I'll play through this game just because. But I love the characters: Lulu, Waka, shout out John DiMaggio, Yuna, and Auron. Of course, Auron, my favorite character, is like, he's basically the entire reason I started the game. I might do a deep dive on this game at some point. But like, the story is so interesting and engaging. The romance that like actually made me like Tidus. The gameplay, well, it's like it's not like the most innovative thing ever. It's just turn-based combat, but you can switch out your players and stuff like that. It's so much fun and solid, and I enjoy all the characters. I also just love the challenge of like trying to get all the Aeons and the celestial weapons. And if you go into the remake, like the remaster, you can do like the penance fight and like the dark Aeons and stuff like that. Like, there's so much extra stuff in this game. You can do the Colosseum. There's so much cool stuff. Blitzball, I'm looking at my script. I didn't even put Blitzball in the fucking script. Blitzball is so much fun. Like, there are people that have literally started entire channels based off of characters that you only meet through Blitzball. So genuinely, it's my favorite Final Fantasy game. Is so much fun. Okay, moving on to number 11, Arkham City. So, for anyone who doesn't know, Batman is my favorite superhero. And my favorite villain in any property ever is the Joker. There's a reason why my color scheme is green and purple. Like, but what happens when you combine my favorite hero and my favorite villain, one of the most fun like action combat, stealth, which I'm really bad at, but still, over 500 puzzles plus a bunch of other side quests, you get a game that genuinely, certain review sites broke their scale trying to discuss it. It won so many Game of the Year awards, and is just widely considered to be the best superhero game ever made. And that's not an exaggeration. Like, it's so easy to just be like, oh, it's such a good game. But also it's like, I played it and it's so easy for me to include on this list. I didn't even have to think about it. Which is saying something, which is, like, getting into these next ones, these are games that I genuinely feel somebody, like, I do feel like these are the games that kind of explain who I am as a person. And I would honestly say that for the top 20, but for the most part, these top, 10 that are coming up, they're 100% everything. Just, they're so much of my personality. Anyways, number 10, Dark Souls 3. I will give you an opportunity right now. You know what? Just pause, take a break, go get some water. Relax. These games right now I'm going to go off about. And if you need to go get a drink of water, get a snack, come back, this one, it might take a little while after this point. Anyways, so Dark Souls 3. I understand that a lot of people would probably put Elden Ring as their favorite Souls-like, or Bloodborne here. Bloodborne, I love the lore of, but I've never played it because I didn't have a PS3 for a long time, and so I didn't have a PlayStation, so I couldn't play it. And Elden Ring, I know it's really good, but I haven't finished it. There's so much, and it's a little overwhelming. But for me personally, the lore of the original Dark Souls trilogy and the story of the original Dark Souls trilogy is so cool and so interesting, and just it feels like such a complete package of a story and such a just progression through the games. And Dark Souls 3, in my opinion, feels like the culmination of all that and the best version of all that. I still, to this day, say that Dark Souls 3 has some of the best boss fights in gaming. And when I say that, I mean, they're hard, but they're not ridiculous like some of the fights in Elden Ring. Not saying they're bad, just they can be a little overwhelming. But in general, it's just my favorite Souls game experience and my favorite From Software experience. Genuinely, I love Dark Souls 3. Plus the music, just so much of it just comes together to make an incredible, incredible experience that I think kind of just it's so perfect for that genre. Anyways, all right, number 9, Soul Calibur 2. This is without a doubt my favorite fighting game of all time, and it will never not be my favorite fighting game of all time. Genuinely, I love 3D fighters, and Soul Calibur is my favorite series. Soul Calibur 2 is my favorite for several reasons, but to be honest with you, let's just go through a list, okay? I mean, it has everything. Big swords, check. Big boobs, check. Crazy demon guys, check. Weird gimp guys, check. Dominatrix whip ladies, check. Undead pirates, check. Link, Spawn, and Hayachi, depending on which version you played, check. And a weapon system that made arcade runs so much fun to go through with each character. This is the game that I would use to settle scores and just beat people's ass. And I genuinely, I remember the moment I started playing this game, and I went, and it clicked with me, and I was like, oh shit. I was like, this is what fighting games, what I want a fighting game to feel like. And I love the entire series. I genuinely hope that someday we get Soul Calibur 7 and they finally deliver on that's the only way that I could possibly replace this on the list, is if I had a new Soul Calibur game that felt better than this one. And that'd be very, very difficult. Anyways, number 8. Spyro the Dragon 3, Year of the Dragon. Okay. At this point on the list, it's really just going to be me heaping praise on these games, not explaining why I love them, but like just listing things that I like about them. And most of these games I think are masterpieces. Like, genuinely. These games on this list going forward are legitimately probably the games that I would say have kind of like they're my favorites in the genre. There's like I just think they're masterpieces. Spyro 3, and honestly the original series, when I say the original series, I include the first 5 games, so all the way up to Hero's Tale. I not Enter the Dragonfly. If you've played Enter the Dragonfly, you understand. But they're, without a doubt, my favorite platformers of all time, and such a cool, just like, it was just such an interesting like game to play. But even with all of that, this game is super special. It was one of the first games we ever got for the PlayStation, and I loved it. And so did my mom. And we played through it multiple times. And then Ripto's Rage came out. And I like Ripto's Rage. I do. But not as much as the first one. And then Year of the Dragon came out. And it just blew me away. There's so many fun things, so many new mechanics, there's so many new characters, so many awesome levels, mini games. You had skateboarding, which I already established is like one of my favorite things. There's racing. I played tons of racing games when I was a kid. So much fun. The flight levels, even though they were like, some of them were legitimately broken. There's the Sparks levels, like you got to play as different characters, and then you beat the sorceress, and it's like, oh, the game's over. And then it's like, you beat the shit out of Moneybags, and you get all your money back, and then it's like, oh, you unlock a new thing, and you go and get the eggs. Make so much sense as a collectible. And the original game, when you collected the eggs, each one of them had like a little animation. They had like different names and stuff like that. It was so much fun. Like, the game takes me back to when I was a kid, and the game takes me back to when I was a kid, and this game and like a lot of the other platformers I played when I was a kid, and like a lot of fighting games and stuff like that, really ignited my love for gaming. And the reasons why I still like play games to this day is because of that feeling that I have when I play them. And I still get that from time to time. And every once in a while, I just want to go back and play, the Spyro games, or, whatever. But like mostly the Spyro games, like I've beaten all 3 of them so many times. All right, moving on. Number 7. Smite. Now, this one might seem a bit of a curveball, and there are some people that might not even know what the fuck Smite is. Smite is probably my favorite competitive game, and definitely my favorite MOBA. Like I said before, I love mythology. I always have. It's really just kind of family history for me. But still, it's something I've always been super interested in. And I had also, for a long time, been curious about MOBAs. And then Smite came out. And I was like, MOBAs? Third person? Mythology? let me try this out. And it kind of ruined my life. Like, I spent $6,000 on skins. I have several thousand hours in it. I played in an amateur competitive league. I love Smite. And, you know, yes, I have the Founders Edition, you know, like I've played Smite 2 and I enjoy Smite 2. I really do. And you know, it's a game that I always come back to and I always play when I just want that feeling of competition and stuff like that. Like, some people, you know, go back to like Halo or COD or whatever. Smite is my game for that. And like Marvel Rivals sometimes. But that's different. That's because I enjoy Marvel Rivals. But I will say I don't condone anything that's been going on with the company recently. There's been some really shitty decisions. I do love the fact that they've been very open recently about stuff, and there are certain people in the community that just ought not be in the community. But I genuinely do love Smite, and it's a game that I always come back to, and I genuinely will play and stream a lot at some point. Okay. Number 6, Pokemon Silver. So, I do feel like for some of these, I could just put them on the list and people would be like, nah, that makes sense. I genuinely understand exactly why that, you know, why that's there. But, you know, I will explain for everyone. I love the Pokemon series. I've played every generation except for Gen 9, and I've completed the Pokedex up to Gen 8. But second gen, like Gen 2, Pokemon Silver is my favorite. Gen 2 has some of my favorite Pokemon. It has my favorite starter. Always loved the feel that it really felt like you were continuing the world from the first game. Like, you can go back to Kanto and you can catch Gen 1 Pokemon. They introduced breeding and friendships and shinies, and all these things were like game changing. And I know it's the boomer choice of games. You can call me a Joe Toddler if you want to. I don't care. When I go back and I think about Pokemon experiences, my mind goes to Pokemon Silver. Like, I've enjoyed some of the later games entirely, but Pokemon Silver is the game I go to when I want a Pokemon experience. Or the remake. Like, Soul Silver is fantastic. I need to play more of it, but like, Soul Silver is fantastic. Okay, here we go. Top 5. These are the games that I genuinely just... These games have had a place in my life and in my time for so long that I just... Like, these top 5 probably will not change for a long time unless something incredible happens. But number 5 is Legend of Dragoon. Legend of Dragoon is the first turn-based RPG, with the exception of like Pokemon, which I don't really count. The first turn-based RPG that I ever really, really got into. It's, to this day, my favorite turn-based RPG. It has my favorite battle system. It's so simple and fun, and just, you learn the timing of the additions, and like, there's so much stuff. I love Dart as a main character. He's so cool and interesting. I like the side characters. All of them are really cool. I love Haschel, Kongol, Rose. It has a fantastic romance. I love the romance with Shauna. Probably how I became a romantic to begin with. It has this really, really awesome, like, epic story. And a death in Lavitz dying that I genuinely, like, it hurts me every time I watch it. Like, I want a remake so bad. Also, it has, like, this super fun twist towards the end that you do not see coming when you play through it. It has probably one of my favorite video game commercials of all time. If you've seen it, you know, and if you don't, I will include a link to it in the description because Jesus Christ is so funny. But it's a game that I go through every 4 or 5 years, and every single time I play through it, it's so incredible, and I never get bored with it. I really, really do hope they remake it someday. But until then, I still will go back and play it because it's just it's a masterpiece. Number 4. Now, I did mention that I would probably put more than one game in some of these spots. And this is me cheating again. And also, like, one, I just can't choose between these games. And 2, I alluded to this in the honorable mentions anyways. But it's Tony Hawk's Underground 2 and Tony Hawk's American Wasteland. These are games that I love and I have played through so many times. I've lost count of how many times I've beaten them. We'll start with Underground 2 just because I just love this game. It's so much fun. It's like Underground, but everything is bigger and better and more fun. All the maps are so much more fun. The destruction of the environments is amazing. It's just, there's so much to do. It's genuinely just a game that I can sit in and play repeatedly. And I know, I remember how to do things in this game that, like, there's no reason they should be in my brain. American Wasteland, on the other hand, is probably my favorite combo system in the entirety of the Tony Hawk series. I've also played through the story of this so much fun. I love the skate ranch. I love all of these characters and stuff like that. Man, genuinely, much like with the last entry on this list, I want a remake of this, and with how the last couple of remakes of the Tony Hawk's games have went, there's no reason they shouldn't. Genuinely. But make it a real remake. Don't make it like Tony Hawk 3 and 4. Because, good God, that was incredibly frustrating. Number 3. Borderlands 2. Now, again, I mentioned this in the honorable mention section. I love the original Borderlands. I think it's a fantastic game. Borderlands 2 is if you take a fantastic game and make it perfect. It has a better story. It has more fun characters. It has probably one of the best villains to ever be included in any game ever in Handsome Jack. It has the best DLCs. You have Tiny Tina's Assault on Dragon Keep. You have Torg's Arena. Hell, the only one that's not great is Hammerlock's Hunt, and it's still a fun campaign because the ending of it is a giant fucking joke. Like, the boss fight is so funny, it makes it better. Also, you just have like amazing guns. I love everything about this game. It's amazing. It's such a fun game. I love the side quests. It's one of the few games where I play through it and I do all the side quests over again because so many of them are so much fun. Like, shoot me in the face and shit like that. Like, it's just amazing. And I've also started Borderlands 2 like 20 times or something like that. Like, it's incredible. But yeah. Also, like, and if you've played Borderlands 2, you understand why it's here. I'm honestly not sure what else to say. So these last two are going to be multiple games. These are definitely the series that I feel most exemplify my taste in games and some of my favorite experiences I've ever had. So for number 2, we have BioShock and BioShock Infinite. I'll just start with BioShock. BioShock has one of my favorite stories in gaming. The first time I ever played it, I played it across 2 days in back-to-back long, like, I think it was like 5-hour sittings or something like that. From the beginning of the game, I was hooked. I couldn't put it down. It has, without a doubt, my favorite twist in gaming with the death of Andrew Ryan. I still to this day get chills from the quote, "A man chooses, a slave obeys." Also, the game looks fantastic, and the whole vibe of Rapture is just so cool. Rapture feels like its own character. It's a masterpiece of an experience that I feel like any gamer who likes a good story should experience. The other game is BioShock Infinite. I fucking love BioShock Infinite. I just can't choose between them. I love BioShock Infinite for the most of the same reasons that I like BioShock. Columbia feels like a character. The twist at the end of Booker being Comstock is such a wild twist, and Elizabeth being his daughter is so cool. And the ending with the DLCs and it wrapping back around to be in Rapture is amazing. The characters are so awesome. Booker is amazing. The twins, so cryptic and fun. Elizabeth is one of my favorite characters in all of video games. And, like, I don't, like, it's crazy that, like, a glorified escort mission target that you don't have to target, like, you don't have to escort at all, she's like the best part of the game, and that's fucking saying something because there's so much. The gameplay is like BioShock 1, but like so much better. The skyhook is really fun to use. The guns are fun. The vigors are really awesome, and the visuals for it are just timeless. It's such a masterpiece, and I love it. I love this series, with the exception of BioShock 2. We won't talk about that. However, there's one series that I love more, and it shouldn't come as a shock to anyone who knows anything about me. Number 1, Kingdom Hearts. Specifically, the entire series. Now, like I said before, I cheat and put several games on this. With Kingdom Hearts, I'm putting the entire series because I enjoy the entire series. with the exception of a few things, that's a point for later on. But I play through most of these games every 2 years or so. At least the numbered entries. I love the entire series. It's part of my identity. Let me see if I can explain it, and we'll get there possibly. First is the premise. The premise of the original game was like so weird and out there, and it was a fucking elevator pitch that never should have happened and never should have worked, but it did. And it works, and it's such a good start to the series. Then you have innovations through most of the titles, and probably one of the weirdest and most complicated stories in gaming. Now, I say the whole series, but 2 games in particular are my favorites, and those are Kingdom Hearts 2 and Birth by Sleep. Kingdom Hearts 2, or I'll start with Birth by Sleep. I have less to say, but that doesn't mean it's any less important to me. It's just, it's hard to explain. First, I love the battle system. It's probably my favorite in the entire series. It rewards you for paying attention to your abilities and how to stack ability uses to get the correct style. Is so much fun. The mini games are fun. The bosses are really cool. The Wayfinder trilogy, the Wayfinder trio is like my second favorite trio in the entire series. Also, you have 2 amazing, legendary voice actors lending their voices to new characters that are truly important to the entire series leading forward, which are Leonard Nimoy and Mark Hamill. Like, and they're both really awesome characters. Like, it's so cool. It's such a fun game. It's probably my favorite PSP game of all time. And yes, I played it on the original PSP. I bought it the day it came out. I bought the guide for it the day that the guide came out because it was like a week later. It's incredible. However, the game that has had the biggest impact on my life, and that's not exaggeration, is Kingdom Hearts 2. So I played Kingdom Hearts 2 first before I went, and I loved it. I loved everything about it. And then I got to the very, very end, and I was about to beat Xemnas, and I went back and played the original Kingdom Hearts 1. And honestly, it was mostly because I just wanted to spend more time in that world and more time with those characters, and just to see what happened in Kingdom Hearts 1 so I could understand everything that was going on in Kingdom Hearts 2. Genuinely, in my opinion, it's a perfect game. It has so much stuff. It has the face turn of my favorite character in Axel. It introduces my second favorite character in Roxas. I love the form system. It's so much fun to play, and I just, all of the forms are really fun and interesting, and just the way that they interact. It has the best worlds minus Atlantica, but I can forgive that because it's like, even that was like, it wasn't terrible. It was just, you had to pop in occasionally to get new stuff. It was a little break every once in a while. Like, I remember the first time that I ever fought Sephiroth in Kingdom Hearts 2, and the struggle that I had to beat him. And then when I finally beat him, how amazing it felt. And it was one of my biggest accomplishments at the time. And that was before, like, I got to fight like Lingering Will or like all this other stuff. It also just has like the coolest set pieces. You got the like, you have these things like the, God, you have like the Battle of 1,000 Heartless and stuff like that, and like the fights where it's like, oh, you have Tifa and Aerith and all these Final Fantasy characters coming out of nowhere and stuff like that, and then you have like all this other stuff. Kingdom Hearts is my favorite series, and I could genuinely talk about just this game for hours and this series for days. I'm genuinely really, really excited to see where the series goes from here, and I'm excited for 4, and I'll be ready to play it when it finally releases in 2087. But until then, I'm just here, man, just waiting with my favorite game of all time being Kingdom Hearts 2. Anyways, so there was my top 20-ish, top probably 40 games. I mentioned a bunch. Obviously, I like more games than these, and I plan on playing some new games that may creep up the list. And I said I was going to announce some stuff, and I am. So first of all, one day on stream each week, I plan on starting to play back through my favorite games and put up these streams, possibly edited, maybe not, as videos. Second, I want to do a full ranking of all the Kingdom Hearts games at some point in the future and talk about all the games in detail. So that like 7-hour video that I'm going to put out about that, you be on the lookout for it at some point. Third, for those, I will be skipping Minecraft for the streams, just because I do a dedicated stream day for the Forever World that I'm playing, so there's no point in me going through with that. And yeah. Fourth, I'm announcing a lot of stuff here, but fourth, I want to do a ranking of all the Zombies maps, Treyarch Zombies maps. I'll get into why in that video, but I do want to play through all the maps on stream at some point. I have 4 other videos that I want to do. One is my favorite band, another is my favorite albums, and one is my favorite Smite Gods and my least favorite Smite Gods. 6, if you made it this far, congratulations. It's probably gonna be, I'm sorry that I subjected you to an hour-long video as my first YouTube video, but if you've made it this far and you enjoyed what I did, what I said, all this other stuff, subscribe, drop a like, give me a comment, all that cringy YouTube stuff. But this really did take a lot of effort. And, in the comments, tell me your favorite games. Just don't be mean. Don't be a dick. Anyways, guys, this has been an extra long video, extra long time of me talking. So I'll see y'all next time. Bye, guys.